Welcome to another Demarcation Media Mega Construx review. I'm aware of the mixed feelings around the Halo 4 and 5 armors, but I think most of the Halo community has to admit that the Scout armor is pretty darn cool. Because of that, and because I'm on a quest to compare every color variant of every random Spartan that Mega has ever made, I have collected every single one of these Scout figures, and today we're going to look at all of them. So, without any further ado, let's jump right in. We'll go ahead and start with this red guy because he's the one that was already here waiting to be looked at. This guy comes from the Versus Troop Pack, which is a red versus blue type set that was rather rare back when it came out, and now it's kind of decently available on eBay. This is the only bright red variant of the Scout to exist. Now, a couple things. First off, you might notice a little bit of a difference in sheen between the head and the armor. That's just because this guy came with his visor starting to flake off. So I had to do a little quick painting and then seal it so that it didn't come fully off. And speaking of the visor, something that we're going to encounter a lot with these Scouts is the fact that it's way too wide. That visor should be about a third of the size of that. Maybe not quite that much, but it should be like the visor should be up here, not quite so wide. But it looks really awesome either way, and red is a nice color to get this armor in. Next up is the dark red variant, and this guy comes from Fireteam Crimson, and he's got the exact same setup, but in this really nice dark, kind of flaky, metallic-ish red. This is the color that I really wish Mega had done their Yoroi in. I think that would have been brilliant. The visor, again, you can see very wide, not quite accurate, but this one's printed up really nice and sharp. I feel like this is one of the classics because Fireteam Crimson is among the best Fireteam sets Mega has ever made. This dark red color is just so good. Right now, I have him using one of the grenade launchers from that set. Yeah, really hard to argue with this. Dark red looks good on pretty much every armor set, in my opinion. Jumping straight up to yellow, we have the Scout from Fireteam Eagle. This guy is interesting because he's got this like kind of school bus-ish looking yellow. It's a little bit darker in person. It looks a little bit more on the orange end. And the visor is not a just straight silver. It's like this weird, slightly pink coral color, which is really interesting. And Mega was nice enough to put a visor outline, which is fantastic. Really makes the angle, the hard angle of that helmet stand out super well. He has, what is this, a bolt shot? Basically the Forerunner shotgun, because Fireteam Eagle comes fully loaded up with pretty much every type of Promethean weapon, which is nice. Not the most nice color, maybe, or maybe that's the wrong way to say it. Not the most tactical color. But despite my original, like, kind of meh about the color, I actually am warmed up to this a lot. I think you would not want to go into a jungle wearing this armor, but for a multiplayer match, it looks pretty cool. Well, just when you thought we couldn't get any brighter than the yellow, we went all the way to white. This guy comes from the Revenant Raid set, which had a full, like, white fire team of Spartans, which is kind of cool. And this is like the Oreo filling kind of white. So there's lots of random speckling in it. You can see this almost looks like a misprint, but it's not. It's actually speckling. There's like kind of a pink spot back there too. It's very odd, this speckling, but it makes the Spartan more interesting than just a straight white, and maybe a bit more like he's been through some battle and whatnot. Again, super wide visor, but we do have that visor outline to give us that really aggressive angle on the face. And no, for those of you wondering, this is not Celox. Probably should have said that sooner. Celox is really just the renamed Halo Infinite Scout. I promise the rest of this list is not absurdly bright Spartans, but this guy comes from Fireteam Venom, sporting that bright lime green. Venom is one of the teams that I feel like I see a lot of dislike for. Not really like due to anything other than the color. Like, nobody really seems to prefer this color over any of the other Fireteam's colors. So there's a lot of excess lime green Venom Spartans out there. However, I have had this guy since pretty much I started collecting. I got him in a bundle that I bought, and I've just hung on to him. I think he looks pretty nice. Yes, again, just like the yellow, it's very bright. Maybe not the best for looking tactical, but Halo's multiplayer in particular has kind of always been about just making your Spartan look how you want it to look. And I know that there's some people out here that do like this green. So I'm on board with this green, even though it's very bright. And I think that the Fireteam Venom set as a whole is kind of underrated. A more tactically practical green can be found on the Scout from the Alpha series blind bags. This is Mega's classic kind of original speckled green. I believe it matches Fireteam Taurus, even though this guy did not come from Fireteam Taurus. I feel like there's not a ton to say about this guy other than that this is the quintessential Halo color, at least for me. The metallic green, I know for a lot of people, is like the Halo color, but this to me was so much better than metallic green. It just looks so much nicer. I don't know. It just looks nice. So it's really hard to argue with this one, and this guy has been around for a while since he came from Alpha Series. The Halo Heroes Series 2 Scout sports pretty much the exact same green, but this time accented with these bright lime yellowish green. Just so many marking lines. So many. This dude has some of the most print on any Halo Heroes figure, I think, ever. He also has a slightly more accurate visor. It's not nearly as wide, although that's not even the widest one. Let me find a wider one. You can see the difference here. There's more accuracy in this guy's helmet. Mega put a little bit more thought into how they were printing the visor. This dude is fantastic. This is one of the coolest Halo Heroes Spartans of all time. He also comes with this shark face AR. Yeah, I like this one a lot. Really hard to go wrong with this. The accents are just perfect. Very, not quite camo-ish, but I feel like it could work almost like camo. It's just good. It just is really, really good. Such a high level of detail on such a small figure. Another Scout that has a more properly sized visor is this dude right here, the Spec Ops looking Scout from the Arena Champions Battle Pack. This dude is fairly rare because the Arena Champions Battle Pack is fairly rare and hard to get, but this is a gorgeous gray. Like, this is perfect Spec Ops Spartan stuff right here. I really want to get the whole Arena Champions pack to have the whole Spec Ops fire team together because this is just so good. That red visor is very menacing, especially paired with the aggressive style of the Scout helmet. I feel like the high level of molded detail on the chest and the shoulders stand out really nicely with this gray as well. Right now he's got a DMR, but I don't believe that was the weapon he came with. But yeah, this is good. This is good. This is one I obtained by accident, and I'm really happy I kept him around because it's just so... Oh, I wish Mega did more. More like this. Having a whole Spec Ops Fireteam pack would have been brilliant, in my opinion. Absolutely brilliant. And also, as a side note, another Arena Champions pack would be great as well, like an Infinite themed one. Probably will never happen, but hey, this figure is pretty darn good either way. I have saved the best for last. This is the Echo Series Blind Bag Scout. And yes, he has the massive visor again, but he's purple. How often do we get purple Spartans? Very, very rarely. So this is kind of something special. I don't know why Mega just doesn't use purple that often, but this is so good. So good. We have the outline again to make it a little less massive. The edge could maybe have been printed a little bit better, but I don't feel like it's much of an issue. That purple, oh, that's just such a beautiful purple. How could you not like this figure? This guy is another one that is kind of rare. Like, I just don't see him very much, and I don't even see people talking about him very much or even like showing him off in their collection. He just kind of is a bit of a ghost. So I was really happy to be able to get one. Got this guy from Megaburb, and he was pretty much one of the last that I needed to be able to make this video. So this guy might be my favorite of the whole lineup. I don't know quite yet. We'll find out. But that purple is really, really hard to beat. Like, this is Mega, please use this more. This is perfect. As I go through and compare all the Spartans in this quest to compare all the color variants, I'm not really going to focus much on the named characters, but I did want to at least give mention to them so that you guys know what is out there. There is this right here. This is a figure that I wanted to give a little bit more attention because it's supposed to be Spartan Palmer. However, this is the Spartan Spartan Assault. The Spartan Assault version from the pack with her and Spartan Davis and a couple of coveys. But the interesting thing is this is on a male torso, as were the rest of the Spartans we looked at. And she is in gray instead of white. There's some extra markings on the arms, which is interesting that they're actually asymmetrical. There's like a stripe here, and then on this side there is a different design. There's also some markings up there. The visor is still pretty wide, but the reason why I really wanted to give this figure a bit of a spotlight is to show off that this is Spartan Palmer before, and that kind of leads me to, there is a Halo Heroes Spartan Palmer. I'll put the picture up on screen, and she comes with an actual female molded variant of the Scout chest plate, which is really interesting because it's one of the very few chest plates that Mega has made both variants for. So this figure is kind of inaccurate, but at the same time, it's kind of interesting because it's almost just a silver Scout. It's only the markings that really denote it as Palmer at all. Palmer, the actual Halo Heroes figure, comes in this weird like pearl white, and she's got a more accurately printed helmet as well as a head. There you have it. That is every single new articulation Scout, minus the two Palmers, because again, this series is about the generic, unnamed colorways that Mega has done and not so much about their named characters. I would have to say, out of this whole batch, this guy, and honestly, I think this guy might be my top three, because the dark gray is just so good. So, I don't know, it's kind of something we don't see very often, and the red is such a nice contrast. Purple, because it's a flipping purple Spartan. We rarely ever get those, and it's Scout. Mix those two together, and you have pretty much a perfect combo. And then this guy, I just really like red, so something about this straight, just bright red really works for me. I do love the dark red. I really love all of these figures, but my top three definitely would have to be those guys. Out of all of them, if we were to say, oh, which one is the actual best? Well, I would say that the Halo Heroes one takes it, just because it's, look at it. I don't think I really need to explain myself. So, which of these figures do you own? Which one is your absolute favorite? What are your top three? Let me know down in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time.